welcome to Beyond Injury Time. Today we are going to talk about a blockbuster match that has happened between two title contenders in Man City and Liverpool. It was a cagey match as expected, an exciting match as expected. So we'll talk about this match. So you were thinking we'll go with how do you think about the match, or was the result fair or whatnot. But today let's spice it up. Today we'll talk about the players who made impact, right? It can be a positive or a negative impact, but impact. So we'll start with a player who really had a very bad game. And you don't associate this name with a bad game very often, right? It's Alisson Becker. He did a blunder on 11th minute. He passed directly to Phil Foden, lucky to be saved. He then got pressurized from Haaland and didn't release ball very quickly that he do normally, and yet saved again. But the third time is the charm. So he slipped and gave the ball to Eke. Some defensive blunders from Trent Alexander-Arnold, who will come, but which leaded to goal finally. So, what do you think this bad game attributes to a Liverpool fan?
You don't get these kind of opportunities. Actually, never. When it comes to Alisson Becker, you don't get a bad game and Alisson Becker in a same sentence. Actually, yeah. I mean, you are right. He did not have a good game. Actually, he had a really jittery game. And generally with Alisson, sometimes it happens that he has a bit of a jittery game, and then he comes into the game, and then he'll improve over time and do the Alisson things that he does all the time. But this game was a lot more flatter than we expected. A lot more of that can be attributed to who we were playing. Obviously, Man City doesn't really give you time to adjust. Neither does it. Do they give you time to probably improve your mistakes, or maybe think on your mistakes per se. Let's just say that. And with Alisson, you expect him to maybe be a little bit more calmer, but in the initial phase, I feel like he did not get too much of a time, and overall, he did not have a good game. But as Alisson does, he did save. He did some good saves, obviously, and even when he made that particular blunder with the pass to Ake. He still had a little bit of touch on the ball, and he probably could have saved himself in that situation. So that's Alisson for you. He'll still probably get out of these kind of situations, but not this day. We're playing Man City. One thing that doesn't get talked about in these kind of matches is when it was played, and at the timing that it was played. And you have to think in this particular situation. This was a 12:30 match. For both Man City and Liverpool, a lot of players were out. Okay. And they just came in. This is the thing, McAllister gave an interview later, and he said that in the team meeting, I was basically half sleepy when Klopp was talking. And that's how jet lagged they were. So, I mean, I don't know how much of an impact that is, but you will be completely I won't say arrogant. I'll probably say ignorant to say that it has zero impact. So I feel like a lot of it is due to fatigue. It's very difficult to maintain when you're fatigued. It's very difficult to maintain that particular concentration. And you have in a game against City, you have to make quick decisions, and Alisson couldn't do that. You expect him to do it, but he couldn't do that. And it can be attributed to obviously to the game, but also how much time he actually had to prepare his body. These guys are paid millions of dollars, but still these are physical beings, and obviously is going to have some sort of impact. So I attribute that it a little bit to that. But overall, I would still say that I still expect Alisson to come through in these kind of situations. So yeah, one bad day in the office. But still, we come out of the draw, and I'm pretty sure that Alisson is going to be back to his best.
To come from a United.
Just a point. I have read somewhere that also that he did not even have a very good international break in Brazil as well. So I think maybe it's something to be scared about. But also, I want to talk about two other incidents that has happened. Two challenges on Alisson that actually went inside the goal. The first one, I think goalkeepers are. We all know goalkeepers are a protected species, right, in football. So but was it too soft on Alisson? Because what I have seen is he has dropped the ball. Even before the challenge, he was not looking in control of it. What do you feel about that?
See, as you said, right, goalkeepers are protected and for a very, very specific reason in these kind of situations. And it's not because it's a City or Liverpool match. This is not going to get given in any of the matches. First one, it doesn't really matter how much control Alisson was in for that particular ball, because the defender basically pulls his hand. Once you do that, a referee is going to give it against you, though you cannot do anything about it. That's going to go against you. And the second one is I think is a push again, is again against the goalkeeper, is going to get given to the goalkeeper. I don't see it as controversial, because I feel like this is probably the most consistent stuff that the Premier League does, where the goalkeeper is protected consistently over the course in all the games. So yeah, I feel like those, I don't see them as controversial decisions. I don't think if it happens to Ederson, it gets given. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Actually more concerned about the goal is controversial or not. I am actually concerned about the Alisson throughout this game.
Yeah.
That Alisson should be controlling that ball, even with the push that Akanji had. He should have a control. He should have hold the ball to him, and he was really looking not himself.
You can say that. Yes, yes. I do agree with that. That Alisson did not have one of like his best game. Probably one of his worst game.
Very
Very jittery. I'm not worried, honestly. For the rest of the season. I mean, Alisson doesn't show these kind of weakness all the time, so I'm not exactly worried. It's still Alisson.
but you must be worried about something else.
Yeah, I am. What I'm worried about is I really hope that injury is just not big, because I mean, it did not look good. I think he held his hamstring, and those things are. I mean, if it gets it is dodgy thing, and if it is serious, then it takes him out for, I don't know, a month or two. We have a good understudy, but I mean, it's we don't want to lose Alisson. That's for sure. So yeah, I'm hoping that the injury is not big. That's what I can say. Yeah.
Cool. Moving to now from a person who did not have a good game, I want to talk about someone who had a really good game, the man of the match of this match, who has actually benched 100 million player. So what do you guys think he offers into Man City?
Man, look, Doku. I personally feel that Doku, when he came in, I'm pretty sure when Doku's name was mentioned initially to Pep Guardiola this summer, he would have thought, no, this is not my kind of player. I mean, he's not your proper tactician, right? He's not your proper tactician like the Bernardo Silvas or the Mahrez, right? Who will have good control of the ball. City's players always are elite ball players, right? But when Jeremy Doku came in, we understood, I mean, if it were a Liverpool transfer or a United transfer, we would have still understood to an extent that, okay, why are you getting him? Because it's his pace. It's his, from standing, he can beat a player, because that acceleration it's like elite of Europe. He comes in the top 3 in that category. But when it comes to Pep Guardiola and City, you immediately think, no, man, he's not that. You're that doesn't fall under that ilk. So, but then one game Jeremy Doku plays, and everyone, I mean, all the City fans as well, they're off their seat because they are seeing something different. I feel Pep Guardiola in one of his press conferences has also credited their director Tixiki Bergastian that he got him this player, but he's also surprised by Doku because he's giving him output, the carries, the take-ons. He's completing them successfully for now. This is his first season. So, I mean, whoever performs, whoever gives him the output, they play. And it's clear for Pep Guardiola. He doesn't go by price tag or reputation.
Right.
But just one thing Abhimanyu, go ahead.
I would like to chip in with Doku because I'm a big fan of his. I've been a big fan of his for quite a long time. So just to give you a brief idea, he was in Rennes before, and he was bought in by Rennes to replace Rafinha, who was a great player himself,
Yep.
who had had a great season before. So it just shows like how highly Doku was rated, because Rafinha was also coming off a great season. And when Doku was he wasn't even put on the market. When City came, Rennes said this is going to be our most expensive transfer, and it was, right. He might have been an unknown quantity to a lot of people, but if you look at the numbers that were put in to get him, it was big money from the French league. And when you see that he's usually compared to Grealish because he's taken that left wing spot, you see the difference is. So with Grealish, Pep always felt that he got the ball, he kept the ball, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He never lost the ball. But with Doku, before he used to get the ball, he used to try something to take on his man and lose the ball. But now, recently, especially this Liverpool game, if you have a look at it, he gets the ball, he keeps it. He's either beating his man and putting a cross from his left foot, putting it in the danger area, or else he's taking on his man or cutting into to the right side from the left side, and then he's passing to his own player. Usually it's Rodri or anyone who is on across the field, but he's giving it, and and the utilization of the ball is so good, right? That's what you want from a player. Either you take on your man or you keep the ball. With Grealish, for some reason, after he's come in City, he started becoming less adventurous. To top it off, I also think Doku's speed is elite and acceleration as well. Start as Rajesh already pointed out. And Grealish does not have that skill set, right? Doesn't have that skill set. Also, if you look at it, Grealish primarily not always, but most of the times has most of his efforts from his right foot, right? Even when he's trying to cross, his left-footed crosses are very, very less. His left-footed shots are very less. In that sense, Doku was much better, right? And another interesting thing about Doku was even Klopp wanted him when he was younger, way younger, to replace Sadio Mane. But the thing with Doku that kept him out of a lot of people's eyes was the fact that he used to keep getting injured.
Okay.
But it seems he's done well till now. Let's see what's in store.
Just a small fact that I have also read somewhere that so this is a season in which City has the least possession, right? In the past all time.
Okay, compared to the
actually, comparatively, not.
I mean, compared to their own stats.
Their own, yeah.
So what has been noticed is because they have a very much direct attack now, right? Nobody holds the ball for longer and go for an attack and complete the attack on the front. So do we believe that once somebody like KDB comes back into the team and Klopp goes through much more of a control in the field rather than now we have seen past two matches.
Not Klopp, Pep. I mean Pep, right?
Pep, sorry, Pep. So they want a lot of control in the field. Pep wants it. So maybe if KDB comes back and then maybe Grealish replaces Doku, so that they have much more control in the top of the field.
That's an interesting thought experiment, actually.
I mean, I would just like to mention, I'll take this one because I feel Pep Guardiola these days, as we've discussed multiple times in the past, right? Now that guy has deviated a little bit from his philosophy. I feel
the City 2.0 now.
Yeah, Pep 2.0, maybe still winning. But not that you do not see the dominant City who they used to look unbeatable. Now teams just go against them and you always feel that you have a chance, right? I feel Pep has evolved and he understands that winning a game, even in the league matches, is far more important than me playing sexy football and scoring 5 goals. So, I feel if Doku offers him more output in terms of, like Abhay also mentioned, right? He's improved on the aspect of keeping the ball, right? which Grealish usually has had an upper hand over Doku. I'm particularly more interested in what Grealish must be thinking sitting from the bench. He must be thinking that, man, I don't have a chance against this guy, dude. He doesn't have a chance. I mean, unless and until Doku drops in his form, or suddenly teams try to figure him out, have plans against him, which will happen. I feel Grealish is still going to be in Pep's plans.
You know how, so you guys are you guys noticing this? We are talking about £100 million player sitting on a bench, thinking that can I go into this particular team? Like, just think about the luxury that the City team has, man. And it sounds
Arapati,
absurd,
bhai,
actually.
Arapati.
It just sounds absurd just to listen to that.
Oh,
when he was
let's
talking
not get
about it.
started about the
On the
I know.
same
I'm not going to
charges.
go into it.
Charges.
On the
No,
same
115
train
charges.
on the same train of
Oh,
thought,
yeah.
the same train of thought of Abhay, we'll talk about another 100 million player who
Yeah.
should be benched, but is not. A person who misses the goals right now everywhere.
Itching
Like,
for that.
Yeah.
the great Darwin Nunes, according to Abhay, the Golden Boot winner.
Yeah, man.
Abhay, please shed some light about this beast.
Still, I think he's going to be Golden Boot winner. All he has to do is score all the goals that he misses, man. That's it. Simple. Score all the goals that he misses, and we're done. So in our fan club, actually, like a whole fan community, Liverpool fan community, we call Darwin Nunez the Captain Chaos. Okay.
Of course.
Because like for us, basically, he's kind of this perfect guy who, when he's on the pitch, he creates the situations where the defenders are always on the edge. Whenever he's on the pitch, he's either going to make that perfect run, or he's probably going to get in those perfect positions, and he's elite in both of these things. What he's struggling with, or I don't know if this is going to continue for a longer time, but what he does so well is miss the goals somehow. Like the easiest one of them all, I feel like, you put Darwin in a difficult situation and he'll probably score, but you give him a tap in, he's probably going to fuck it up somehow. So, and that's the thing. You guys actually have the context of this season, where you guys are like closely looking at him and how is he playing. But I have the context of the whole season, last season, where we all of us, like from in our fan base, we were basically confused whenever he used to play, since he was not finishing, and his touch was also not exactly the best, and his ball control was also not exactly the best. All of us, we were thinking that why exactly? I mean, we knew that what he's supposed to offer, but he was not offering that. He was not delivering, and everybody was a little bit confused. We backed him, but everybody was a little bit confused. And this season, he came out with improved everywhere. With I would say 2x, 3x from my perspective. His ball control is very, very good. He's a kind of guy who is creating better than from last season. We still cannot rely on him just simply for creating, because he's supposed to score. but he's improved on that particular things. Now when it comes to yeah, but when it comes to scoring, I don't know. This is thing. I don't even know what to say. Because that guy, like, I feel like that this is going to go in, and doesn't go in, and I have no idea what to say about that.
He needs a bigger goal.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It feels like he doesn't really want to score simple goals. You give him a bigger goal, he probably is not going to score that as well. So I think his presence on the field at this point is more impactful than probably the goal output at this particular point. When he's on the field, the game plays out differently. When he's not on the field, the game plays out differently, and it's working for us better when he's on the field.
If this is 2-3x better, it needs to be 20x maybe now.
I feel he should be playing more in a KDB role, because he's elite in everything. And just
he's elite in positioning, man. I mean, we can. I laugh at him with you, but
positioning finishing.
That's the thing. They're elite strikers who are actually known for their positioning. Obviously, they're known for their finishing. But if you're not there, you cannot score. And
Well-
there's a problem with a lot of strikers who just cannot get into the position. But Darwin can get into the position. All he has to do is get better. See, I mean, it's a horrible comparison to do with Haaland, because Haaland is way more clinical than him. But he also missed quite a lot. Okay,
No,
so that's the thing. But the
Abhay.
best thing about Haaland was he was always there, like
I
always
have
there.
I
Yeah.
just have to mention one point that the problem, the problem is with who Nunez idolizes, and he idolizes a certain Luis Suarez. He should
Exactly.
be rather idolizing Edinson Cavani, who was an elite in positioning and finishing. अब कैसा है, Suarez ने only positioning समझा है, वो समझा ही नहीं है कि कैसे गोल मारते हैं.
Syllabus आ रहा है।
अगर
On that-
Cavani
on
को
that
follow
note-
किया होता,
On that
तो
note,
वो part
who
था.
has who has the most like there was the season where Suarez had the most misses of the season or something like that in Barcelona. Like that's probably his I mean
That's
his
probably what he's
record or
teaching.
something. Yeah, probably he's exactly
He
passing it
wants to
out.
beat a record, man. Come on, let the guy beat some records.
Yeah.
See,
So,
I know.
Darwin does remind us of Suarez, obviously, when it is chaotic nature. He has a long way to go, but he is exactly at the right place, is what we think. I mean, we are happy with him.
Okay.
It's
I-
difficult
I-
to see
I-
him. Yeah,
I have a theory, right? I have a
Uh-huh.
theory.
yeah.
My theory consists of the first point, which says that Liverpool fans have absolutely lost their memories. Right? When you say he reminds me of Suarez, like कौन सा वाला भाई?
In his chaotic nature, I
Yeah,
completed that.
agree.
In his
I
chaotic
agree,
nature,
okay.
that's it.
And-
Nothing else,
and-
just the chaotic nature.
and I have my second point,
Yeah.
a theory which states that Liverpool fans fiend for good-looking players. है ना? That's the only thing. You are saying
wale,
he was
choti
worse
wale.
last year.
Oh my
You
god,
think
yeah.
he was, bro. Okay. You're supporting him well and good.
Obviously, yeah.
He was worse last year. What, bro? I watched him a full game after a long period of time, right?
Hmm.
And I agree that he's chaotic, right? I agree that he makes great runs. All agreed. But when it comes to decision making, right, he might have an IQ of a toddler, right? And I kid you not. And I'm just thinking to myself, you said he's a perfect player, and I was like, what? What? And then you said, okay, positioning. It makes
Exactly,
sense.
obviously.
It makes
I
sense.
said positioning.
But please tell me, right? I'm trying to understand here that तुम striker हो, तुम्हारा काम क्या है?
Score karna, true.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm talking to Easter years United fans saying, bro, we like Fellaini because he is chaos. है ना? He is chaos. Are you seeing this? And I would in fact, let me just check the numbers. Fellaini also scored goals. भाई tappings को वो भी miss नहीं करता था. Right? I understand 100 million तुम्हारे गए, दर्द बहुत हो रहा है, support करोगे. That is understood. But I'm just trying to figure out that once you have seen the Firminos, right, who didn't score many goals, but he had something better
Brilliant
about him.
point.
I think he made the players around him better, right? So somewhere down the line, do you feel कि Darwin Núñez को ज्यादा लीवे दिया जा रहा है because of the price tag?
100
Answer
million.
is this is Liverpool 2.0. Okay. Answer is that.
I'm sorry, but this guy does my head in, because I do agree what you say. He causes all the trouble. He keeps the defenders on their toes. He's stretching defenses and whatnot. But at some point of time, you have to score the goal as well, right? You're the striker, damn it, right?
That is true.
No, but I genuinely wanted to know
Yoga, why are you smiling?
I genuinely wanted to know that now that the season has gone this much, what are your expectations from him? है
Okay.
ना? Because last year तो तुम्हारा expectation था ही नहीं, क्योंकि तुम्हें लग रहा है ये बहुत अच्छा है, और मुझे as a neutral अगर मैं देखता हूँ, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये क्या आदमी है भाई, है ना? What are your expectations of him?
Obviously, we expect him to finish a lot more goals than he's finishing. That is given, obviously.
Okay.
But the thing is that even when he's not finishing at this particular point, I'm happy where he ends up at. Okay, I'd rather have a player who is there to take the chance and miss it than have a player who's not there to take the chance at all.
Brilliant point. Okay,
Okay,
one good point. Yeah.
that's what I feel with Darwin.
Good.
He is different than Jota. Jota is a fantastic player. Okay, ultimate poacher. But he's a different profile. Obviously, he's a little bit more technical than Darwin, but less chaotic than him. Obviously, Darwin is a little bit of a direct player, and all I see with him is that all those things that is missing is going to get converted, because he has the talent. In the end, he has the talent, and he is not a fluke. That's what I understood. Last year, you could have argued maybe that is he a fluke? Maybe that was just one good season or something like that. But I've seen him play, and I've seen not last season, like the season before that he came to us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
I-
No,
I-
that's
I-
obviously
this guy got
no.
something over his eyes because he said
No.
last
See,
season.
last
He
season,
just
last
saved
season,
himself. He just
last
saved
season you
himself.
could have questioned that because our team was playing really bad, and you couldn't see the potential shine through. At least for neutrals, it was difficult to see.
Yeah.
I mean, we were seeing the bits and pieces, but for neutrals, the game is a little bit like 90 minutes game where you don't remember those kind of things. We are a little bit more concentrated on the players. But this season, it has improved quite a lot, and we can see the potential. A lot of people like you guys also can see the potential. Obviously, you guys are scratching your heads thinking the guy is not finishing the basic tap-ins, and I totally agree with that. But the thing is that he's there to take those tap-ins, and those are going to go in. I'm not worried. Those are going to go in. Some other goals are going to
It's
go
fair
in.
point. Yeah.
He scores bangers that are going to go in anyway, but tap-ins are also going to go in. So I'm happy he's there. And I'm pretty sure Klopp is happy he's there. I'm pretty sure Salah is happy that somebody is there. Salah is in creating positions this year. Okay. And Salah is happy that Darwin is at the end of it. He probably is not happy that he's not converting it, obviously. But the thing is that we have a striker who's elite enough to be there and is going to be converted. It's not about the price tag. We generally forget actually about price tag. We forgot about Naby Keita's price tag, man. And he did. I mean, how good of a season he had. But still, the thing is that we know where Darwin is going to end up. So that's what it is.
I can just imagine one scenario in the dugout. There is Klopp and Nunez, and Klopp is asking him, "Kab khoon kholega re tera? Goal marega re tu?" So yeah, I hope
Yeah.
I want to see when does the patience end of Liverpool, or maybe Nunes turns it around.
Right.
So yeah, I also want to mention a player that for me he is a very special player, and for a lot of people he must be a man of the match for the last match. Contrastingly, what we have seen in the two matches that City has played, a 4-4 draw to Chelsea, which was a complete chaos, no control at all. The free flowing football from one end to other end, nobody even retaining a ball for 2 5 seconds, right? And this match, City has a lot more control in the field, and this 1-1 draw looks more like the City's draw, so that they were more likely to win it. And all the credit I want to give is to Bernardo Silva. He's been running their midfield in the absence of KDB. He was controlling the show yesterday on the field in the last match. So that he was actually the difference, who was actually controlling this ball, controlling the game, and not letting it to be too chaotic as the Chelsea match. Just wanted to have a special mention of him when you're talking about players who actually created impact. He was like a silent guardian, a watchful protector. I won't say a dark knight because people might find it racist or whatnot.
I completely actually agree with that. The way City was playing yesterday, you go three defenders, two pivots, and then you have I think Bernardo and I'm forgetting who was on the other side. Foden, probably. Foden was on a little bit on the wing side. I'm not sure.
Right, yeah.
But Bernardo and Doku have
Alvarez also.
Alvarez, yeah, probably. But especially on the Bernardo's and Doku side, right? Bernardo was there at the kind of higher position in the final, near the final third. And the way Liverpool was defending was more of like a narrow kind of structure, where we were trying to put our four players on their four midfielders. But the way City was playing tactically really well, is that they were trying to stretch us a little bit from the goalkeeper, and then somebody has to press the goalkeeper. So obviously there's this one position remaining. So if you empty the Rodri position, you start a little bit from behind, and they can build from there. Which is why City, we tried to cover those central spaces, but City still had a fair bit of joy in that particular central position. But because you have Edison's quality, right? The ball can go directly to Bernardo Silva, and then he can control the ball. He can give it to Doku. He can probably, he can make those halves run in those half spaces as well. So the way he was playing in that particular midfield, it was difficult basically for us to control a lot of game because how he was probably handling the ball at that particular point, going a little bit deep to get the ball. I'm not sure if he's doing exactly the KDB job, but I think the second best to what KDB is what he is to City at this particular point.
I believe he's kind of a perfect football player. He can play on a lot of positions all across the field, and I have read a lot of posts about it that he is right now in this world a perfect footballer. You can have a perfect striker, you can have a perfect winger, midfielder, defender, but he is a perfect footballer who can
I feel to
study
put
the game
his-
as well.
to put it correctly, he could be called as the current Iniesta of that City team.
Good.
That's I don't know. You're going to get a
Iniesta
lot of flack for that, but
No, I mean
but-
Iniesta was a complete footballer, right? He
Yeah.
did everything. Yeah.
In that era, what Iniesta was
Yeah.
the symbol
Yeah.
of. In the current people that are playing, maybe
In current Europe, mein agar if you see, he's
Correct.
one.
I was always, by the way, I mean, even when he was not playing the KDB position, he has always been impressive actually.
Yeah,
You don't see him under the numbers, but man, like when he plays, he's dangerous. So.
proper Pep Guardiola player, patla
Yeah,
sa dikhega
perfect,
tujhe,
yeah.
but
Thoda news na
supreme
choda nahi.
technical ability.
Yeah, pure technical ability. True.
Pure
True.
technical.
Yeah.
Look at him, man. He outmuscles 2-3 people when they are on him. How?
Yeah.
वो देख के लगता है कि प्रीमियर लीग में सरवाइव करेगा, but
Fantastic, man. Yeah.
I think everybody must be expecting one more player in this list who
Yeah.
actually it's a two-sided coin for him, Trent Alexander-Arnold. He was kind of a culprit for the goal that Liverpool conceded, and he scored a banger to level it. So he's showing good quality on offense and not so good on defense. Do you think this trade-off is worth it for Liverpool 2.0?
Man, that's the question, I feel like it's Liverpool 2.0, it's Liverpool 1.0. That's the question that gets asked like
you have
every
started
year.
the trend. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm telling you, this is the question that's like, it feels like an age-long question that gets asked every year.
Liverpool 2.0 का है.
Yeah. So for me, the trade-off is still worth it. Because what he offers in the offense is completely unmatched. Now, as a defender, obviously we have a expectation. We don't want him to be completely skinned. I mean, that we don't want that. But the thing is that we don't expect him to be perfect as well. In one-on-ones, we know that he's not going to be all the time he's going to be successful. And that's why it's more of a tactical question for Klopp to how to handle that particular side, because one person cannot do both the jobs. He cannot be an attacking power and then defend with the same intensity. Somebody has to cover for him. But whenever he's in the situation, I feel like that he does get skinned, but he also doesn't defend as bad as it looks like. That's my like even in last game, Doku had a lot of joy on that particular side. In a lot of situation, Trent did not do as bad. I mean, obviously, when we considered the goal, that was one of the most horrible defending. But that was not just Trent. Like everybody, I don't know what happened to our defense. But in overall picture, when a mistake leads to a goal, it gets highlighted. And you see, it's very easy to see when you are attacking Liverpool. You're supposed to attack from that left side, not because Trent is a weak defender, not just because you know that Trent has to go up, because they know that Trent is our attacking outlet, so that side is supposed to be a lot more freer than compared to the other side. Robertson doesn't go as attacking as much as Trent goes. He attacks, he inverts. So he does so many roles that they know that that gap is going to be there. And then the attack goes from that particular side. So he has more chances to be skinned. So you see a lot more clips of him being not able to defend a one-on-one or something like that. But for us, what it is that, okay, he's able to defend some of the situation. He's supposed to be helped by other people as well. But that in the end, it should not cut out his attacking power. You might think that why not play him in midfield? It probably is a fair question. Why not play him in midfield? He's fantastic with the ball. But the thing is, in midfield, personally for me, I feel like that his output gets restricted to half of the field. He's a kind of guy who can play a perfect pass from the left back position to the wing. And those kind of long passes, we are going to miss if he's not there. So there's a reason that he's not being played in the midfield. Obviously, we have other midfielders, but he's not being played in the midfield because he can play more roles than just being a midfielder. For me, it's a difficult thing to see. Obviously, I mean, we don't want goals to come from there, but we know what we have in that particular sense.
So actually, I have a lot of questions based on
Yeah, please. Yeah.
But I'm not going to ask obviously all of them. But in a concise manner, I just want to put it out there that maybe based on what you said about Trent and how you view a defender. I'm not talking about Klopp, Liverpool. And
I understand. Yeah.
I just want to understand and deep dive a little bit about your idea of a defender. We just talked about Bernardo Silva and why he's called a complete footballer or a good footballer. Now, we all say that, okay, Trent is world class. But do you think not developing a side to a player's game and yet being called world class is a fair tag? Or will Klopp ever be able to develop Trent's that side of the game for him to be called as world class? Because you go to because Trent could easily go to any of the best teams in the world. If he's on the market, Real Madrid are going to come hounding for him, right? And imagine him playing at Real Madrid. Hypothetical question, but I'm just trying to give a context here. That imagine him playing at Madrid and making these mistakes and costing them games. Liverpool fans are sympathetic because he's a homegrown lad, and Liverpool fans in general have sympathy towards their players. So call it standards, call it whatever. But Real Madrid, when he makes the next jump, and do you think he can play in a perfect team and still commit mistakes and still get away with it like he does at Liverpool?
Okay, I want to draw your attention to something when it comes to defending. I don't know. For me, defending, the biggest trait of defending is positioning. How you position yourself. How you can read the game. You can do that. You can do that when you are in your position. Okay, Van Dijk in his prime was called one of the best defenders in the world, not because of the tackles he made, or not because of recoveries. Obviously is there, but his positioning was just world class. Like nobody could get past him. Okay. Your positioning can be good if you are in your position. Okay, you have to understand this thing. Trent is not a player who stands in his position at RB. If it is RB, okay, just and not doing too much, not moving, overlapping till the end of the pitch. Okay, probably he develops more of a side of his more of a defensive side. But most of the times he's a recovering defender who is coming back, trying to cover his position, and then make a split second decision. Okay, he doesn't have time. He doesn't have really time to basically adjust too much, too many times. That's one point that I want to say. Second thing is that when it comes to defending, it looks bad, but he used to be worse. Okay, so he has
Nunes wala chipka diya. He used to be worse.
No.
I don't entirely agree. The way you started, right? The way you started regarding positioning, that is obviously I agree. But the way you completed that thought by saying that if he's too ahead, he's a recovering defender. Man, most of the defenders in top teams, the demands are that the likes of Theo Hernandez, Lelo, Ashraf Hakimi, Lelo, they spend most of their time on opposition.
I understand. Right? I understand what you're saying.
So okay. Once you look, it is
no. You complete your thought. Yeah.
It's also a question to Klopp. Then, if you're saying that, it's a question to Klopp that what has he been doing all these years, not trying to find a balance and not try to make this team tick and also improve the player in the process. Because this looks bad on the player first, on the match day, and then eventually it also looks bad on Klopp. Because, okay, I understand you have won Premier League, you have won all the domestic titles and the UCL. But what happens? Just think of all the games and all the titles you have lost. Now, do you think Trent, even though he has been instrumental in winning you games, but वही बात है ना, मैं एक मर्डर किया और कल एक गरीब को अगर खाना खिला दिया, doesn't make it even, right? Doesn't make it even. Now, in this game, as we discussed, Trent was culprit in the first goal and then he scored the goal. Do you think just makes it even? He just matlab covered his mistake by scoring the
No,
goal?
no,
That's
obviously
not
not.
the way, right? That's
Okay.
my opinion.
On that, I would like to say is it's been what 6 years since he's been a first team player.
Yeah.
Okay, I can count like if I'm taking it on a stretch. Okay, I can count like 15 to 20 mistakes that he's made. Okay, I am saying very high. Okay, I'm taking a very high number. That's not how many mistakes he made.
Mm-hmm.
No, you cannot just because a goal was scored and just because a goal was scored because of his side, their defensive mistake is a is not a single mistake. It's a catalog of mistakes most of the times. Sometimes one player gets skinned and it goes there, right? But generally it's catalog of mistakes. Okay, so out of those many things, he is probably being responsible for like I don't know 10 goals. Okay, you know how many assists he has. And you know how many see I'm trying to create a analogy because for you he's a defender. Okay, for me he's a right back who's one of my biggest creator as well. Okay, all the players that you mentioned, they are not as good as a creator as Arnold is, and that's why they can focus on their defensive side, but I want him to improve in defense, by the way. Okay. But I know that why some of his defensive style is still lacking. Because that guy, his mental capacity is completely being utilized on his attacking side, and he also has to do his defensive jobs, which is supposed to get a little bit help in. So in that particular, for me, trade-off works because what he provides in that attack, all those players cannot provide what Arnold provides in attack. He is not as good as them in defense, but he does the job. Okay, he has made mistakes, but he has won us more matches, way more matches than he has done the mistake. That's the trade-off for us. That's what I'm saying. You only remember the mistakes. I remember all the matches that you won.
I understand what you're saying here. First of all, I don't agree with the stat that you shared because you can't say like what directly ended in a goal is a mistake. I have
That's
seen
what I said.
mistakes in one match made by Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Okay,
Not
fine.
go into that stat.
Okay.
But I actually still believe that the best position for Trent Alexander-Arnold is a right wing back in a 5 at the back system, where he has enough backing by the defenders before, so that he can, like, that used to be there with Fabinho in the team and VVD and Martin. That used to be somewhere there where Fabinho also drops down and have the three defender line there, right? So what you're saying is Alexander-Arnold's mistakes are not visible because your defenders have been doing an exceptionally well job, which you don't expect from every defender to do. Right, VVD has been off the chart. Alisson has been making so crucial mistakes and winning you so many matches that you must have lost if you have any other keeper than him. Right.
Okay.
All of these mistakes of Trent Alexander-Arnold is being covered by these players. If your defenders have a bad day at any game, you will see Trent Alexander-Arnold's mistake then and there that this is the guy. Because at the 4 at the back, you're saying he is a recovering defender and whatnot, but at the 4 at the back system, you want your right back to come and defend for you. You cannot have it excuse that he is going top and creating chances. But he has to come back and defend. That is your job at 4 at the back system. That's where Trent, and at team like Liverpool, you cannot be an average defender. You can have any good creative skills and whatnot, but what duty you have, you cannot be average on it, because once your defender, let's say VVD gets retired, right? After some time, he will also have a slump. He is getting aged. So then you will actually start seeing how Trent Alexander-Arnold can cost you, and maybe you will also be of the same thought that we should bench him if he does not develop his defensive game.
Not bench him, he's too good a player to bench him, but maybe Klopp has to work
Change
out a
his,
system.
maybe change his system.
Yeah,
or
change the system.
But
He has to be utilized differently, but yeah,
See,
that's the school of thought we will get to know. But Abhay Maheshwari, man, I mean, what did you have?
I mean, actually, if I know Jogeka a lot of times seems a bit too optimist and with his team
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what,
obviously.
but when it comes to this, I actually feel that he's right. What Trent offers offensively far outweighs what he offers defensively. Like his defensive mistakes or his positioning can be overlooked because of his contribution in the attacking sense. Like the goal that he scored, right? Nobody else in that team, apart from probably Soboslai, I'm expecting to score that goal. That said and done, when Jogeka says it's about lower positioning and all, I agree to that. But there have been a lot of times when he's been one-on-one, right? And he has kind of he's not left himself in glory. He's not covered himself in glory.
He got
right?
skinned. He got skinned. I know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He said that.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is he's not without his faults defensively, and
Obviously.
he should be working, right?
Mhm.
He should be working. You can't say he's the perfect attacking wise. You can't question him, right? But now it's been 3 years, 4 years into the PL. You expect a little more, expect a little more. But that said and done, I would say I would take Trent in a heartbeat, man. What he provides to the team,
Wouldn't.
I think most teams would actually.
Yeah, most teams would, and their respective managers would utilize him better. If I mean, maybe improve. That's why I was questioning him.
He has to
His
evolve a
defensive
little on the
frailties,
defensive side.
yeah.
That's all I think we all are saying. Even Abhay is agreeing that
Yeah.
evolution needs to be there, necessary.
Correct.
Little bit improvement on defensive side at least.
थोड़ा मतलब जो
I mean,
इतना ज्यादा नहीं इतना.
No. I see. The thing is, I'm kind of in two spaces here because you are right. Who doesn't want him to improve? Man, I want him to improve in his defending. The thing, but he has improved. That's the thing. That he has improved in one-on-one. He is getting beaten less. See, Doku is one of the best wingers, man. Okay, a lot of players are going to struggle against him. And again, any winger like that, a lot of defenders are going to struggle against him. And the thing is that I think that probably he's struggling a little bit less than he would have struggled last year. Let's just say that. I see a little bit of improvement. I want more, but I do see a little bit of improvement. Let's just say that.
I seriously, when he says I see improvement in Darwin Núñez, I see improvement in Trent Alexander-Arnold.
See, it's very difficult, to explain this. I don't know what to say.
Why?
The line he uses is
Because it's not straightforward.
bad.
It's not straightforward. I can convince you guys that in Darwin's for example, I convinced you guys in a sense that what he provides from his positioning and all that. All of us are in the same place. He's not scoring, obviously. But that's the improvement that I'm seeing. Again, with Trent is the same case.
Enough of Trent.
भाई सब improve करेंगे. अब उसकी
हम्म.
बात करते हैं जो कराने वाला है. ठीक है. I want to talk about.
That sounds so wrong.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I want to talk about the player who plays mind games from the sidelines.
Yeah. Who think wind is responsible for everything?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, Mr. Jurgen Klopp. So it is really unusual for me to see Klopp having a pragmatic approach. With 11 men on the pitch, even with 10 men, we have not seen it. I have not seen it. You might have. So it is unusual for us to see him going for a draw at the later half for a possible 6-pointer in a title race, being a title contender.
True.
Adjusting for a draw, looking like comfortable with a draw. So, what do you feel? What is this mindset of Klopp? Is he being too cautious?
It's a खराब mindset.
Yeah, a bit surprising. Quite honestly, a bit surprising that I mean, even if we are in a position where we probably feel like that we'll lose from there, it's 10 minutes remaining, and even the substitutions that he made. I mean, Endo came on, I think Elliot came on, and it's not exactly completely defensive kind of substitution. It's more like I'm going to provide a little bit of cover, but we have enough attacking prowess. But the overall approach that we had it was a little bit pragmatic. I do agree with that, and. It probably was more down to the fact that Man City, it was against Man City, which actually is a little bit surprising because we are fighting for the top position. That's not the mindset that we need. But one thing I feel like that probably maybe pushed him a little bit, or because Alisson got a bit wobbly. Maybe. I'm just now guessing at this particular point. But Man City, a big game maybe, or maybe he just thought that the game that we were having, probably too many too many holes. But I'm a little bit surprised, as you guys are, because it's a momentum. When you score a goal, you have a little bit of momentum. The old of Liverpool would have capitalized on that particular momentum. So I'm a little bit surprised as you guys are. I'm just going to say my first point that maybe he saw that everybody is too fatigued and let's just go with the draw and
No, I
be
also
done with
feel
it.
the same. I also feel on similar lines here. I have to agree because this particular season is a very unique season, as we all know. Too many injuries. So you will see not teams are trying to be pragmatic in general. Apart from Spurs, etc., they have a different Ange ball and whatever. So teams generally this season they don't. I mean, they don't want to play senseless football. They want to don't go gegen pressing for 90 plus 5 minutes. So they want to manage games. They want to make substitutions at the right time. Why I share that particular insight is because Eric Ten Hag has also for United has done that because a lot of data is coming out after the World Cup. What are the players? I mean, certain parameters of the health of the players. How many minutes are in each player's legs and all that, whatever data analysis is being done. So everything is being curated properly and minutes are being given to players on that respect. Whoever was in the World Cup squad.
Interesting.
Because I'll give you a brilliant example, and that is about Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw was not actually injured. It was that he had a leg break. You know that, right? उसका पैर 2 हाफ में से टूट गया था. तो उसके बाद ऑपरेशन हुआ. हाँ, टूट गया था. I mean, it was like 3-4 years ago. So that operation, everything was done. He had recovered. He was playing. So he is a regular starter for England, right? So what happens is too much accumulation of fatigue. Doctor said that there is some stress that is developed where that operation went through, right? Because of too many games, World Cup, this, that, then national duty. So players are being monitored very closely. And if Klopp was trying to manage a game against City, I am not going to hold anything against them because most of the managers are following this particular approach that make the substitutions at the right time. If you are getting a sensible point out of a game, keep it, because second half of the season, this particular Premier League season is going to be very interesting. As we've seen, the results are going left, right, center. Even Man City can lose to anyone. Okay, so no team is able to go on a run that we've seen. कि भाई City जीत गई 10 game या Liverpool जीत गए. So everyone has been managing games. That's my take.
Now that you all have spoken, I mean, right, I've seen Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool. All right, to me, that's a pressing machine. It's obviously changed. You don't have the same players, and yes, last year was like a drop off and whatnot. But I looked at the game, right, and I looked at the game, and then I looked at the numbers, and it seems like you have lost a bit of bite in every place, from attack to midfield to the defense as well.
To the keeper.
And I know before this we spoke about Alisson being, a little shitty, but in general, I think he's one of the topmost class players still in your team, right? If he wasn't there, you're probably getting beaten black and blue. So when I looked at the numbers, I saw City with 60% possession and Liverpool with 40%, which is all right. City's home ground, City plays like that, all good. But I just saw the number of shots that City took, and it's almost double of yours, right? That should be concerning. Like, if you intend to fight against them toe to toe, and considering that like Thiago to always injured hai yaar. I'm not counting him, right? I'm not counting him at all.
Yeah.
But when I look at Robertson, right? When I look at Robertson, I'm like, ठीक है, Tsimikas was played decent. मेरे को ऐसा लगा. But and these people were missing stones, right? These people were missing stones, you know, and KDB. And then I'm thinking, yeah, if City gets all these players, is it going to be a massacre of sorts? You know, and to be fair, Liverpool are one of those teams who have played well in this season, right? But मेरे को अभी भी देख के ऐसा लगा कि the Liverpool's approach was a little timid. Maybe it was smart. I'm not saying it wasn't, but what I'm saying is City actually missed two big chances, right? And this is where they were. And on another day, if you see the match, the field tilt, the XG, whatever, Liverpool are not winning that, right? Liverpool are not winning that. And this is when City are not at their best. I do agree, probably Liverpool are not there at their best either. But from what I have seen, I just feel that how do I put it without sounding like an ass to Liverpool? I just feel that City will go up 6 levels and Liverpool will probably go 2, right? And that might, increase the gap a lot more. And it doesn't look like a title contending team, to me at least, Liverpool, even though they are probably better than most of the bunch, right? Better than most of the bunch. That's what I feel. Right? That's what I feel.
I can actually see where you're coming from. You feel like that Man City has more gears to go compared to bigger ceiling compared to what Liverpool can provide this season. I see where you're coming from actually. I don't know when KDB is back, but when he's back, the City is definitely going to improve.
Just for safety reasons, he's coming in January, I believe.
So when he's back, obviously City is going to be better and a lot better. Compared to that, we don't really have anybody in midfield out apart from Thiago, who has not played for a long time. And
also there's this another thing that I think City are going to spend again. Right.
Probably.
In January, because they wanted that guy Matthews Nunes, so midway through, right? So when I look at that, I mean, I'm just like, this is not happening. But then again, football is funny, right? Football is funny. There's magic involved, and when things click, right? When things click, anything can happen. But to be very fair, I expected a lot more from the match, considering City weren't playing that well either, but it's just the way they cut you in 1,000 passes. Like it's not like a dagger kind of thing, right? It's like they keep cutting you, scarring you again and again and again and again, and then boom, right?
What I saw, from this whole match, the way that City was playing, and it was in their home, so generally, when the game is in City home, we don't really go gung-ho on City. We do play a little bit pragmatic, not this pragmatic, because we were always that pressing high-intensity team. So it looked a lot more lively. But we were still a little bit more cautious on City. On Anfield, we ran riot, but in City, we are a little bit cautious of their home games.
Also, just wanted to add that Liverpool used to be known for scoring late goals, right? They always keep pressing till 96.
True. 95 minutes, yeah.
And then this is where we have seen in recently with good teams, Chelsea has scored in the late minutes, right? In the extra times. The Arsenal has scored in the late minutes of. So there is a template where teams have been scoring against City in the rest of those times where has become pragmatic, right? That gap City has been showing, because they will come all out attacking to you, which gives you a lot more freedom to go. So maybe there was a template as well to be followed, and that's what Arsenal did very well, right? They won this 6-pointer against them. And this is where another title contender, Liverpool, was in a situation where they could have got an upper hand over the defenders. Maybe you believe this is a chance being like not grabbed.
See, yeah. Just from this perspective that we have never been like a team which would settle with a draw. Even in this year itself, right? We went all in against Newcastle and we won that game. So we do that. It's not like this season we haven't done that.
Exactly.
But this particular game, even before it started, the way it was placed and the way we knew that how many of our players were basically out, it seemed like a game where both of the teams were going to struggle a little bit. Which I mean, I would say that we struggle more than City, but even City made a lot of those missed passes and mistakes and all that in the midfield and on their final third than they would normally do. So it was a jittery game for City in between as well. With that said, I do feel like that it probably feels like, based on that momentum of the 81st minute, 80th minute goal, I feel like we probably should have pushed a little bit more. But as I mentioned earlier, it just feels like that Klopp, Rajesh put a really good point, which actually I was not thinking that much about, the minute managing to the player, like per player minute management and all that stuff. And maybe that played a little bit of part on how he wanted to go with this particular game. So yeah.
Just wanted to end this on a high note. There was a record that has been made by Erling Haaland, the goal scorer. He scored the fastest 50 goals in Premier League. So not a very good game to be mentioned, but yeah, this milestone was.
It disappears in the big games.
Freaking scored in our game, man.
Yeah, that's fine. He can
Not
score
a big
as many
game,
goals as
against
possible, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Rajesh, not a big fan.
Yeah.
No,
I don't have to be a fan, but I mean, even if I keep bias out of my discussion, I will never like that kind of a profile because what I immediately think is कि ये बंदा मेरे टीम में fit होगा क्या? Because ये fit नहीं होगा यार. But Haaland will never be as successful as he is in a City team, and he's a perfect City player. He's scoring goals for them. Good luck to them. But I immediately think, can he bail out a Man United team that is struggling and score goals for them, for us, for me, for my team regularly, or for example a Liverpool team regularly? Maybe in contrast, he will do well in a Liverpool team because they create good amount of chances. They have Trent, they have Szoboszlai, they have, what they're missing is a finisher. He'll do well there, but can he do it in a struggling United team where there are not many passers, there are no particular patterns at the moment? But I guess that's how the game goes. It's unrealistic to think that Haaland will ever play for United because he's at City now. He will never come to United, and he will go only up. So it will be either Real Madrid or Barca or Bayern, right? So it's unrealistic, but he's not my type.
The way Rajesh is talking, it feels like he's saying that can he do it in the cold night in Stokes?
Yeah,
I mean,
but still a milestone.
I'm happy with Højlund as I have been at the start of the season. I have already mentioned that you guys have seen United's game and you can easily see what he's made of and why I rated him much more higher than Darwin Núñez. I told him in the first season he is going to show what Rasmus Højlund is about, and I like that kind of a player who is impacting games alone. He's doing everything alone. He builds up play. He keeps the ball. So he does everything. Goals, Champions League, he's the top scorer already in his first season in a struggling 30 team. Now, league goals haven't come yet, but it will come.
We cannot know what he can do in a struggling team until we see him in one. But at least
we won't see
milestone.
So, that's a good milestone. Yeah, good on him, man. Good on him.
Not even 2 seasons. And
sorry about spending giving my 2 cents about that idiot. But yeah, congratulations.
Wow, man, doesn't like him at all.
Man, you have the soft copy. So yeah. So let's it's a good discussion. So please put on comments who was your man of the match of this match and what were your key takeaways. But yeah,
Yeah.
And why do you guys
for
think
you.
that Darwin is going to be the golden boot?
उसी
also?
golden boot से
हाँ,
मारेंगे.
golden boot. हालैंड ही मार देगा.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.